Hello there. The reason we're making all kinds of videos, I once said it before. And so if you have not got it, I'm going to repeat it right now. The reason we're making videos is to be able to help people. Nigerian Muslims and people of other faiths are living in the dark as to what exactly is going on in other parts of the world. And it will be wickedness not to bring this to their notice, so that they will have enough information to decide for themselves whether they want to continue the way they are or they want to make another choice. Islam is one of the faiths that I'm responding to because it's in the face of everybody. It's all over the land. And if it were absolute truth, that wouldn't have bothered one. But it's built, the Dawah is built on lies. And so one of the selling points, there are many selling points of Islam that have been debunked. One of the selling points is that Islam contains scientific miracles. And in this video, I want to show you that there is nothing like that. There is nothing like that. And so the best way to prove my point is to let somebody, which you may know very well, or if you don't know, I'm going to introduce him. His name is Ali Dawah. You can go on YouTube and search his channel, Ali Dawah. We jokingly call him Ali Drama because of the way he does things. But so let's welcome him. Ali Dawah, you're welcome. A thunderous applause. Please pay attention very well. Notice that on the screen, you have scientific miracles are nonsense. Those are the exact words of Ali Dawah. So listen, you Nigerian Muslims, listen attentively. Ali Dawah has something to tell you.
It might be that Andrew Tate came to Islam for the wrong reasons. But guess what? He may be staying in Islam for the right reasons. How? One of the reasons I accepted Islam was the scientific miracles.
Okay, so he said it might be that Andrew Tate, that's one clown like that. He's a pimp. He's somebody involved in pornography and all kinds of things. And he has not stopped. He hasn't. So actually, he's been apprehended. He's in under house arrest, awaiting judgment. And he could be jailed for many years. But let's leave that. About 2 years ago, he started making videos that he was a Catholic before, and he found Islam very, very attractive because of the muscular kind of thing, and how Islam would, you dare not criticize Islam, you dare not criticize Muhammad, otherwise you could be killed and all that. And he was criticizing Christianity for being too weak, that Christians, you can insult Jesus Christ and they will be looking at you. And so for that reason, he went into Islam. And that is what Ali Dawah is saying here, that it might be that Andrew Tate came to Islam for the wrong reason, but that he stayed in Islam for the right reason. Listen to him again.
Andrew Tate came to Islam for the wrong reasons. But guess what? He may be staying in Islam for the right reasons. How? One of the reasons I accepted Islam was the scientific miracles.
Okay, so he's now narrating his own story, that one of the reasons he came to Islam was because of the scientific miracles. Okay, what happens after that?
I'll be honest with you. And
okay, so he said, I'll be honest with you. That was one of the things that brought him into Islam. Okay.
Now we know that this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense.
So now we know that the whole scientific miracles are nonsense. Nonsense. But he's still going to speak with his tongue in cheek. He will speak from both sides of the mouth. Why did he say it is nonsense? You see, there are two types of Dawah people. We have the popular Dawah people like Ali Dawah, like Muhammad Hijab, and all these sheikhs and mukadams and imams all over Nigeria who are at best. I don't want to sound like I'm insulting them. I don't want to insult them, but indeed they are not exposed. That is a fact. They are not exposed. Some of them are moderately educated, but they're not informed. They are not. They don't read. They don't listen to anything other than that. They are just searching hadiths and looking into Quran, and they are doing what they call the science of hadith. And because of that, you see how proud, how arrogant they are, and they look down on everybody and call you ignorant. You lack knowledge. And sometimes you go on Facebook and you find the same thing. All these young boys with beards that don't know anything. They know next to nothing. They call everybody ignorant. You lack knowledge. You lack knowledge. What do they mean by lack knowledge? All the things that they call knowledge of religion in their Islam. And so that's who they are. Those are the popular apologists. But you have the other ones who are educated. Most of them in America, in Europe, and some of them may be in Nigeria too. They have read history. And they have seen that Islam does not line up very well with history and science and archaeology. They know it. So when they are with the popular crowd, they give them what they want to hear. But when they are with their academic colleagues, they dare not mention some of those things. So they will admit that, okay, there are problems with that. One of them is Yasakadi. He lectures in University of Yale. You can go and check him. He was the one who said that the standard narrative, the standard Islamic narrative has holes in it. He said, and you know they're not lying on you because you know they are in your sources. He said they will poke, they will say, how about this? This doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. I'm going to do another video on Yasakadi. This doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Okay? And so those are the popular, those are the academics, those are the informed ones, the educated ones. But they are educated when they are lecturing, they tell the truth. When they are in masjid and with their Dawah people, they lie. They lie. But the truth is catching up with them. Another educated Muslim scholar of our time is Shadi Nasser. I just mentioned Yasakadi, who is a lecturer in University of Yale in the US. Shadi Nasser is in where? This other university. Okay? He also knows these things. He lectures these things. And eventually they come out to tell the truth among their colleagues. They write papers. They publish these things. But the popular ones don't want to hear any of that. Eventually, Ali Dawah, being a popular da'i, a popular Muslim apologist, there wasn't anything he could do again. And so he had to admit that the scientific miracles are nonsense. Scientific miracles in Islam, they are nonsense. You saw it on the screen. And so, but let him talk more, because it's good to let Muslims talk.
In total, but guess what? Allah led me to Islam. One of the reasons was because of the scientific miracles.
Oh, so Allah led him into Islam because of the false scientific miracle claims. Allah used a false narrative, a false miracle to lead him into Islam. In other words, Allah deceived him into Islam. And after he came.
And guess what? Did I leave Islam when this whole scientific miracle thing got debunked?
Oh, wow. He said this whole scientific miracle thing was what? Listen.
Scientific miracle thing got debunked?
Debunked? Did I leave Islam when this whole scientific miracle thing was debunked? Who were the ones debunking them? The Christians. The knowledgeable people are pointing attention and saying, look, this thing is not correct. That is not correct. This is not. Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying. And that's what we are doing in Nigeria. Stop lying. And everybody will hear this. The scientific miracle thing has been debunked. Debunked. But he said, did I leave? No, he's not going to leave, because it's not about the truth. It's not about fact. He is staying for another reason, just as most of you are staying in Islam for another reason.
No, I stayed because I grew in faith.
Yeah.
And that's what Allah
He grew in faith after discovering that the scientific miracles that brought him into Islam, that claim was debunked. He said, did I leave? I didn't leave. I stayed because I grew in faith. What does it mean by grew? I grew in faith. Well, he bought into all these sentimental things, science of hadith, and he had a very good community, had good friends. So it was too profitable for him to then leave. He had grown in faith. Grown in faith. Okay?
subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran to the Bedouins, don't say you have believed, but rather say you have submitted.
Okay.
Muslim apologist
So
Ali.
you had it. Don't say you have believed. Let's hear him. He's going to say something. He said that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to the Bedouins, don't say
You have believed.
So it's not a matter of believing. It's a matter of submitting. But rather say you have submitted. That's what Islam is. It is submission. Even if your intellectual understanding is against this thing you are being told, yet submit. 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 Somebody was telling me very recently, we're talking of religion, you are talking of history. As if once it is religion, you have to suspend all your reasoning. That's what they say. Suspend your reasoning. Whatever is there, take it like that, even if it doesn't make any sense.
But rather say you have submitted.
That's it. Rather say you have submitted. So you people are just submitting your reasoning, submitting your understanding, submitting your intellect, submitting your logic. Submit it. But you've heard it. He said it's been debunked. After this video, some Muslims went to him and they were complaining. Why? Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Why did you? So he made another video. I'm going to share that with you. Here is it. Here is the second one that he shared. So let's see that. I hope this will. This is the second video he did after Muslims came to him and started complaining. Why did you say that? Let's hear what he has to say here.
What happened to, me saying that, and we are proud of that? And I'll repeat it again.
No,
Yes, we are proud.
Start from the beginning again, Dawah.
People are flocking to Islam. So me saying the argument of science and miracles is debunked, it is debunked. And guess what?
Okay. He said people are flocking Islam. So me saying that the scientific miracles has been done, yes, it's been debunked. Debunked. And yet,
What? We don't even need it.
oh, we don't even need it. They don't need it. They don't need it. They have used it for years to preach, to do dawah. He too came into Islam through it. But after it was debunked with evidence upon evidence upon evidence, he now said, we don't even need it. You're going to hear him later. He said, to hell with it. To hell with it. This is what we're dealing with. We don't even need it. Okay, so let's see. I want him to speak further. I want to skip the ad. Okay, so Ali Dawah, please continue. Let's listen to him.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters and dear friends. Okay, so guys, this is a quick video, inshallah. I didn't want to do a dedicated video to this. I was here with the brothers filming for the podcast. And I thought while I'm sat here, I'll quickly touch up on this quickly because it's not really that important. So in the Andrew Tate video that I did, I mentioned that the scientific miracles in the Quran got debunked.
Okay, so he said in the previous video that he did, he mentioned that the scientific miracle in the Quran was debunked. All right? More.
And for some odd reason, funnily enough, like as if they thought that
For some odd reason, funny enough, and so people, his fellow da'is, his brothers in faith, were complaining.
it was a slip of the tongue. I'll repeat it again. Very
Okay, so as if it was he said they were complaining as if it was a slip of the tongue. And now he said, I repeat again. Let's listen to that. I want you to get that.
as if they thought that it was a slip of the tongue. I'll repeat it again, very carefully. The scientific miracles argument in the Quran got debunked.
Wow. Amen. The scientific miracles, the arguments of the Quran He said, listen to me attentively. It has been debunked. So what he said before, he said it's not a slip of the tongue. What he said here, he said it's not a slip of the tongue. He knew what he was saying. It's been debunked. It's been debunked. Muslims in Nigeria, listen, we are the ones to wake you up. You are sleeping. You are still lagging behind. You are behind the rest of the world. We are the ones to wake you up. We are the ones to wake you up. And we'll bring these things to your attention so that you can choose whether you want to continue deceiving yourself, lying and being lied to, deceiving and being deceived, or whether you want to come out of deception and face reality. The scientific miracle has been debunked. You know, that's one of the unique selling points of Islam. Unique selling point, USP of Islam. Scientific miracles. We're going to touch on other areas, but just to let you know that this one has been debunked, has been thoroughly debunked. And we're one by one, video after video, we're going to be bringing that to your notice and be showing you that you're just holding on to nonsense. For example, this one. You must have seen this woman before who said that that there's embryology in the Quran. I don't have time to go into all that today, but like this.
The Holy Quran not only stated the specific sequence of events that can lead to embryo creation.
Or the Holy Quran not only stated the specific sequence of events that can lead to embryo development, embryo creation,
but also stated with 100% accuracy.
But it also states with 100% accuracy, okay, that what?
That during embryonic development, the bones are formed first and then the flesh of muscle.
Imagine. So that bones are formed first and then the flesh comes to cover it. It's been debunked. It's been debunked. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm going to round everything off very, very soon. But I want Ali Drama to continue what he was saying. So let's go back to Ali Dawah.
Yeah, I hope my tajweed was on point. So when I said this, a lot of Islamophobes were celebrating as if I was.
He's calling us Islamophobe. And so just as he says some Islamophobes, the people that were telling him at that time that these scientific miracles that we're carrying up and down is nonsense, he eventually came to agree that it is nonsense. He eventually agreed that it has been debunked. Those people that were telling him in those days, they were Islamophobes in his eyes, just as he's calling other people Islamophobes now. You know what? You will come back to agree with us eventually because truth will catch up with you. So let Ali Drama continue.
For some Muslims, so they can understand. For example, and I'll tell you where this comes from. And you know why many people in the Dawah, many Dawah, YouTubers, my colleagues, like brothers that I work with, didn't do a video. Why did you say that? Because they know it as well. In what?
Oh, did you hear that? He said many YouTubers, his colleagues, they came to him and they said, why did you do that? He said, because they know it as well. They know it. They know it. How could you say that sperm is formed between the rib and the backbone? How could you say that? Don't you know that that's lie? It's a big lie. And then they want to twist it. Well, you know, it is a seminal fluid. That's not what your Quran says. It's a topic of another day. We'll come back. But I just wanted to, you can rewind this thing and listen. He said they know it as well, but they are lying. They are lying.
What sense? Brothers and sisters, I was having a debate with a guy called Phil. Yes? This guy is a scientist or whatever he is, for that matter. I was debating with him, and I can remember this very clearly a couple of years ago. And I took an ayah in the Quran, which I am not qualified to do, which is...
Okay. So he's going to give an example of what actually convinced him that the scientific miracles of the Quran has been debunked. So he was having a debate with somebody who was knowledgeable in science, and he was arguing. He said he took an ayah in the Quran, which he was not qualified to do, and many of you are not qualified to do the same thing. And he was proving that this is scientific miracle. What ayah is that? The one that talks about 7 heavens. And he was proving that the ozone layer, the 7 ozone layers, those are the 7 heavens that the Quran mentions. Let him finish.
It's like doing tafsir. So there was an ayah in the Quran which says that there are 7 heavens. So I was claiming, because of this whole scientific narrative, that this is talking about the ozone layer. Number one, it is haram for me to do that. Why? Because...
Did you hear that? He said it is haram for him to do that. Okay, why?
How can I give an understanding to the Quran, the ayah, with no qualifications? And who have ever said that this is the ozone layer?
Okay, so Allah himself never said this is the ozone layer. It is not said. But it is you Muslims who are saying that. It is you Muslims who are saying that. When I come to refute that woman, that white woman, who is talking about embryology in the Quran, you understand what we mean by that. Because that's not what your Quran says. And like the drama says, it is haram for you to be saying what the Quran is not saying. Okay? Meanwhile, he came to this realization after years of doing the same thing. Years and years of doing the same thing. Let him continue.
Then I was having a debate with this atheist guy and trying to tell him that there's 7 ozone layers. And he was saying to me, no, my friend, there are 6 ozone layers.
Okay, so he was having a debate with somebody and the person was saying, it's not 7 ozone layers. Ali Drama was trying to read that into the Quran that talks about the 7 heavens and was saying, okay, there are 7 ozone layers. And those are standing for the 7 heavens that the Quran mentions. And his atheist friend was saying, no, it's 6.
And I was saying 7. He was saying 6, 7, 6, 7, 6. And we said, let's go to the NASA page.
Okay, so they then say, okay, let's not argue again. 7, 6, 7. Let's go to NASA page. NASA is the American body in charge of space travels and researches and all that. So they went to NASA page and found out. What did they find?
So we went to the NASA page, and in the NASA page, guess what? It said the argument was apparently from their recent findings, whatever it may be. This probably changed. And this is my whole point of the video, yeah? Science changes. It said that there is 5 ozone layers.
Okay. So on NASA page, it said that they have 5 ozone layers. 5, not 7. That was when Ali Drama stopped pointing to the 7 ozone layers as the 7 heavens that the Quran is talking about. He has more to say.
So I looked at him, he looked at me, and I was thinking, I'm saying 7, you're saying 6, NASA is saying 5. That is where the penny dropped for me. You know why? Because we are making claims about the Quran and specific verses, and because we was, not myself, I would say, but a lot of people were very insecure because of this scientific,
Imagine. So he's beginning to break things down for you Nigerian Muslims, you Dawah people in Nigeria, that he said a lot of you are insecure because of this scientific thing. You are insecure. And you are clinging to whatever straw that you can find. Ali Drama was doing exactly the same thing until his eyes were open. One by one, your eyes will open. One by one, your eyes will open. Let's hear more.
Discoveries or whatever it may be, and we was trying to fit the scientific narrative into the Quran, which was a big mistake, because it's as good as we were making science the guideline for the Quran to be accepted. This is nonsense.
Oh wow. Did you hear that? You are trying to make science fit into the Quran. You're trying to make science fit into the Quran. And he said, this is nonsense. As if science is a guideline. He said, this is nonsense. That's what we are trying to do. Let him speak more. Scientific miracles.
Yeah, we take the Quran, not science. To hell with science. Science changes tomorrow, today. They talk about the Big Bang. Now there's new.
So now, to hell with science. To hell with science. Nigerian Muslims, Dawah people. To hell with science. And let me talk to this young man that I once debate with. Anyway, when I come to the debate, I'll break it down and show the error. Okay, to hell with science. That is not according to me. That's according to Ali Dawah. And mind you, go on YouTube and search for Ali Dawah. He has 1.24 million subscribers. 1,240,000 subscribers on YouTube alone. and he's confessing. In fact, see, he's confessing now that all that thing is trash. It is trash. So you two drop it. Drop it. He has some other things to say.
New studies or whatever, new findings that there was no Big Bang. So my point is what? You cannot come and say this verse here is a scientific miracle, is a scientific fact.
Oh, wow. Did you hear that? You cannot come and say this verse here, this ayah here is a scientific miracle. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. One of your Dawah people is correcting you. Are you going to listen to correction? Will you? Will you listen to correction?
Why? Not because the Quran is wrong, because science changes, number one. Number two, who told you that verse in the Quran is talking about what you're ascribing to it?
Wow. Who told you that that verse in the Quran is talking about what you are ascribing to it? Who told you that? Who told you that? So you're using your own manipulation because you want to do dawah. Listen, let him hear it again. Who told you? And those are the questions we ask from you. Who told you that that thing that you are inserting to the Quran, who told you that that's what the Quran is talking about? It's a big question and we need you to answer. Dawah people in Nigeria, answer that.
Simple as that. So that's why I repeat it one more time for my fans, those Islamophobes. The scientific argument, the scientific miracles in the Quran is debunked.
End of story. End of story. And so I don't have to say any other thing again. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. The scientific miracles of the Quran, the scientific argument of the Quran is debunked according to Ali Dawah. Thank you and